So, hi everyone, you can see we're back here today to make our kid flash boots. So what I'm using for my boots as a base, that is this 4-way stretch Lycra fabric. Okay everyone, these boots are awesome. They're exactly made the way the Spider-Man boots are, so if you want to go check that process video out, they're slimline, nice and tight, fit really good. So again, I'm using 4-way stretch Lycra fabric for the boot base, and what we're going to do now is fold it in two sides, so we actually have one and two sides folded over, and this is going to give us our double layer to sew our boots together. So you can see actually here I get my Spider-Man boot if you want to go check that process video out, but I use this just to measure up, maybe see which way it would be better to cut it so I'm not wasting any good amounts of material or fabric. So here I'll just lay the boot down again for lengthways. I'll get a pencil and start to mark out maybe where I want the thigh piece to go. Okay, so I don't want to waste as much fabric because Lycra fabric, guys, isn't cheap. So if you want to start to measure up your pieces, make sure you're not wasting any excess fabric, go for it. I would say the extra time is really good. So here I'm going to be using a sock. The sock is just for a general height basis. It's not for to actually take the general shape, but what I'm going to use it for is the height. So you can just see now right here it marks out where I want it to go up in the thigh. Then I'll start to cut out a boot shape. So just a general normal boot shape. Make sure you give yourself some room at the sides for excess fabric, so don't go too thin within your calf and your shin area, and I would suggest not to do any sharp corners. So maybe cut things in a curve. Don't commit to any sharp corners just yet before you glue the sides together or sew them together. But here you can just see I just cut a general boot shape, and make sure I didn't want to make it too thick. You know that it is 4-way stretch Lycra fabric, guys, after all. And I have a brilliant boot base. So again, this was two sides of the fabric. I have both sides to actually sew together. You can see right now once I peel it back. And this is 4-way stretch yellow fabric, guys. Lycra fabric, the spelling will be in the description below. Perfect for tight fit boots. I've also made a pair of flash boots. What we're going to be doing is using old shoes for the actual base. Okay, so these are going to be going in the bottom of the actual sock once we sew this together. Again, if you've watched the process video for Spider-Man, I say it's a generally it's a glorified sock. Okay, right now I have both boots, so I just put the exact same shape on top of another layer of the fabric, cut out the same shape, and now I have both boots. Okay, so again, this is 4 pieces of fabric. That's all you'll need for your boots base is 4 pieces of fabric, 2 on each side, front and back. Sew or glue them together, but I would say sewing them, guys, with a sewing machine, perfect, and come out with a brilliant finish. What we're going to be using for the actual shoe base itself is some old shoes. I would suggest them being old. You can see mine are really dirty right now, but here I'm going to be sewing both of the boots together. So both sleeves, they're just going to be getting sewed. If you cannot sew, guys, I would suggest looking up some techniques online or on YouTube. Get an adult, or if you haven't, maybe an older family member that can actually sew for you, maybe hand stitch it. Completely up to you guys, but honestly this sewing machine cost me around, I'd say, a couple of £100. This is an industrial grade one, and you can pick up a cheap sewing machine, I think online, for around $100, if not cheaper. But I've just sewn all around the edges, give it a nice base, and I'll actually go around this, I think, 3 to 4 times. Okay, so I'll do each seam again 3 to 4 times to make sure that I get this to stick. I don't want anything busting, and again, I'm not committing to any sharp edges. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is actually for the boot base, and I'm going to be showing you how the actual shoe slips into the boot base. So I've left off all of the excess leather pieces going around the shoe. Don't worry, I will be showing you how to cut it off, but I have the nice sleeve for our boot. Right here around the back, the zipper is just going to be placed on. Zippers, guys, can be found in local art shops. It makes it much easier to get it on. So if you want easy access on and off for your boot and for your feet, this makes it a lot easier. You can find cheap zips in online if you want to take that route, but what we're going to do is cut an open piece at the back here, leave it open, and actually sew the zipper to the back of the boot. Okay, and here we are. You can actually see I've done it with both boots. So I have a nice sleeve. If we turn it inside out, we have perfect and nice seam lines, guys. Honestly, these turned out much better than I would have thought, but I can zip down the back, which gives us easy access on and off. Okay, it makes it a lot better because these boots are, of course, tight fit and they do go up your shins. Right now what we're going to do is actually cut apart our shoe base. So if you give me 2 seconds. So I did all of that in one take, guys, but I just got a drink of water. So what we're going to be doing is actually use a sharp pair of scissors. Watch your hands, please. But what we're going to do is just cut out all the laces, so make sure you have it nice, free and open. These were old leather shoes, so that's why I say sharp scissors, because it was pretty tough to cut through this. But again, I'm just following some stitch lines going down the side of the shoe. I'm not, cutting my own pattern. I'm just cutting up the actual stitch pattern in the shoe, so that I have a symmetrical design in both shoes. Also, I can just follow the lines very easily straight down. So I cut off the sides where the laces actually went, makes it a lot more open. Then I cut a nice curve where the tongue used to be. So I cut the tongue out of the shoe itself. Make sure you maybe cut it in a curve, because it'll be a lot better to slip your foot in. Maybe not do a straight line across. So right here, I will say it was pretty tough to cut through those leather pieces. But these were old shoes, I will emphasize that, guys. Please don't be going cutting up some new shoes that you got. Maybe pick up some cheap ones and a cheap charity shop or whatever. But right here, I just followed the stitch line pattern within the shoe itself, and that actually gave me a really good guide to follow. But I'll take one of the shoes, zip down the boot. Again, the zipper makes it a lot easier to slip in the shoe and to get it on. But I'll make sure I'll squeeze this in nice and tight. Same as the Spider-Man design, I just went in, put the shoe base into the bottom of the shoe, didn't commit to any straight lines when sewing it, because I maybe would have got some sharp edges or overlapping pieces. So because I sewn in curved lines, it gives it that nice, look at it, it's a nice seam line all in all throughout. The toe doesn't have, a little nipple bit sticking out or no jagged edges. All I would have to do is maybe glue down some pieces or cut out some bits off of the shoe. All in all, it's a pretty good boot base. I have a nice shoe shape to actually fit into. Here, I'll show you what it looks like, guys, and thank you so much for watching so far. What we're going to get into next is actually building up the armor design and the armor base on top of your boot. Okay, here we are with the rest of the video, guys. So this part, everyone, is on the actual armor base for the boot, so you can do this for actually an amount of characters. If you want to do it for Green Arrow, Batman, go for it. This could work for Robin also. Here we actually have 7 pieces all in all. These are going to be for the whole armor design. I will glue them on in order so you can actually see which order they go on. Maybe wear 2 layers of trousers before doing this, because the glue can maybe seep through your sock. I got burnt once or twice doing this, so again, maybe wear 2 layers of trousers. You can see I actually pull my trousers up, which I shouldn't have done. I was trying to go for that nice thin look, the sleek look. I shouldn't have. I should have just wore the jeans. So please, guys, wear a layer of clothing when you maybe are gluing on these pieces so that you don't get burnt. But I just take the biggest piece. This is going to actually follow the kneecap. So this is just going to sit right underneath my knee. I don't place too much glue, guys. Again, as I always say, too much glue isn't always good. So this is just going to sit right underneath my kneecap. It actually comes up and meets my knee, but it will actually meet the bottom of the boot. So it just about actually meets the tip of the boot. And thank God I made it this big. But you can do yours in any order and any shape you want. This sort of follows the Ezra Miller design for the flesh. And again, I have the second piece here that's just going to follow on down my shin, and that's just going to, again, all these pieces follow into each other, so they actually all do connect up. If you want to make sure that's part of your design, if you want to make it look that bit better, guys, I would always say put that bit of detail into it. Make sure maybe the pieces line up right. And I've just wrapped all these in yellow fabric. So I'm actually using Peltex, that is Peltex. The spelling will be in the description below. You can use cardboard or EVA foam. Honestly, EVA foam would be perfect for this, but I have seen cardboard work just as well because it is maybe more flexible. I use Peltex because it is flexible, but it can have a stiff form also. Okay, so it can be found online. I will be putting more information up for that. What you can use right now is EVA foam or cardboard. It comes very cheaply, found in art shops. I will be gluing these on in order. Thank you again guys for watching so far. This can work for Green Arrow, Red Arrow, any kind of superhero out there. Here we are with the rest of the video, everyone. Oh, and again, please, I emphasize, wear a layer of trousers underneath. Just wear a layer of something because I did get burnt when I glued on that, I think, second piece going down my shin. Just a bit of tip, guys. Always safety first. So everyone, this is actually the boot with the armor pieces on. Again, these were 7 pieces. I'm still building up on it, so expect a finished video within the week. But here we are. These are the 7 armor pieces. You can use EVA foam, cardboard, anything you want. It's completely up to you and your imagination. What I've done is build up on the back of my calf or the back of my shin, the front of the shin, and actually the toe cap itself. So I've just built a tiny piece here. I'm just making sure all the pieces are glued on properly. If there's any tiny pieces that you miss, make sure you go through those. And that's it, everyone. That's all there is to it. I will be adding at the end here a lightning bolt, but make sure you maybe cover the main pieces or the main portions of your foot. And I'm just peeling this off of my sock, so you can see I just peeled the pieces off. The glue seeped through. It did burn me, but all in all, this turned out really, really good. This boot base could work for a lot of different cosplays, guys. Anime ways, comic ways, movie ways. It depends on the fabric that you use, and if you actually went into weathering this, again, the pieces would stand out a lot more. So if you went into weathering the edges, you could add on, you know, the lightning bolt going down where a Nike tick would be on a normal shoe. Completely up to you and your imagination. I will always say that. But getting into the shoe, you can just see here I squeeze into the shoe, make sure all the pieces are pushed out, zip it up here at the back, and it fits nice and perfect. Honestly, it's the 4-way stretch lycra fabric, gives everything a nice slim and tight fit look, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know I've said it a lot. Here I will be just showing you I can bend and move about in the shoe. The last portion is going to be on actually making a lightning bolt to go on the top and building on your design. Here we are with the rest of the video, everyone. So right here I've just drawn out a simple lightning bolt design. You can go for anything you want, sort of the CW. This is more of the Ezra Miller film DCEU. This was the first design that I went for. Throw it away. I went with more of a jagged edge. These two lines are parallel to one another, top and bottom. Both follow the exact same lines. Okay, so if you want to do that, and then it has this nice straight rectangle shape in the middle, we could say. Okay, so I cut that out and actually made 2 pieces. So I've glued 2 pieces of Peltex together. You can use cardboard just to make it that bit thicker, to make it a bit more stiff, and it emphasizes more on the boot. Okay, and what I've taken here is just some small pieces of red lycra fabric and use that to wrap around the Peltex piece. It works around cardboard, EVA foam. You can just get colored red EVA foam. What I've done is just wrap the fabric again using a glue gun around the pieces like I would the armored pieces for the boot that we did previously. Alright, now this gives it a brilliant texture and tone. Make sure the angle that you're going to glue this on works. So here we have a mess. I get a lot of comments about the mess that I have. I don't know what the obsession is about the mess on the floor, guys, but if you actually are making something and you get in the mood, trust me, the first thing you don't think about is clearing up. You just keep going with that design. So right here I was really pumped about this whole boot design. I didn't give a shit. Right now I take small amounts of glue, place it on the back, and I glued it on wrong. Yep, rookie mistake. I just went on and plopped it on before I even looked, and you can see it just sits a bit too, it just doesn't sit right for me, honestly. So here I just peeled it off. I wouldn't recommend doing this. I use a lighter just to burn off the excess glue. If you reheat some of the glue from the glue gun, it will turn back to a liquid form and you can just maybe peel it off with your finger. Here I make sure there's no excess glue coming off the sides, put the small amounts of glue again, and make sure I place it right this time. You can see it looks a lot better. It just, if you point it up that bit more diagonal and have it a bit straight, it just looks a bit better, I think, more. You could actually use this design, I will say, for a reverse flash. So if you want to go and make yourself a reverse flash cosplay, add in some black, add in some darker yellow and a lot more red, these could be perfect for a Airboard Thawne flash costume, or reverse flash costume should I say. So guys, this has been me throughout the whole video. Thank you so much for watching. This is both boots when I have armored them up. You can just see them. I normally don't do this, but I thought you guys are deserve it, so you can see both boots and how they look. I will be armoring these, so I will say I'm not done with this design. There will be a finished video this week. You will expect all of the other armor pieces around the boot and it'll give it a lot better shape. Please guys, please let me know if this design works for you. You can go ahead and try this. Use 4-way stretch lycra fabric and come up with any character you want. Add on any armor design base you want. But as always, let your geek speak. From me, everyone here at Ireland, you're awesome. And bye guys, love you all. And please subscribe and comment.